1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Danushka Madabala and read by Niranjan Abesundara. Sri Lanka celebrates its 76th Independence Day. The Prime Minister of Thailand participated in the National Independence Day celebrations as a guest of honour. District-wide celebrations were held island-wide to mark the 76th Independence Day. Over 700 inmates detained at prisons across the island released today in view on Independence Day. 600 more suspects arrested under Operation Nuclear. The Navy seizes 2 poaching whale trawls in Sri Lankan waters. $150 million financial facility to Sri Lanka from the World Bank. In world news, Pakistan ex-PM Imran Khan and wife Bushra Bibi jailed for illegal marriage. Sports news, Sri Lanka scored 439 runs all out in the first innings against Afghanistan. Sri Lanka celebrates its 76th Independence Day today in solemn manner. Ranil Wickremesinghe and the Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena jointly presided over celebrations at the Golf Face Green in Colombo on the theme Let's Build a New Country. The Prime Minister of Thailand, Srettha Thavisin, participated in the National Independence Day celebrations as a guest of honour on the invitation of the President Wickremesinghe. At the Independence Day celebration, the national anthem and Jai Mangal Gathas were sung by a choir of 100 students. This year's celebrations prioritize the Tri-Services Guard of Honour segments according to the Ministry of Public Administration, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils and Local Government. The War Heroes Commemorative Parade was held with the participation of 3,042 members of the Army, 917 members of the Navy, 695 members of the Air Force, 299 members from the Police, 209 members from the Police Special Task Force, 379 members from the Civil Defence Force, 500 members from the National Cadet Corps, 22 retired officers and 29 different able officers. The parade will display over 100 armoured vehicles, some of which have been locally fabricated and manufactured. The Buddhist religious ceremony relevant to the national ceremony was held at the Kolapita Pulvat, the Dharmakirti Rama Vihara this morning. Hindu religious rites were held at the Vajrapalya Kovil in Colombo 4. The Catholic service was conducted at the All Saints Church in Colombo. Islamic religious ceremonies were held at the Al Jami-ul Alfa Masjid. The celebrations were held regionally. Independence celebrations were held in Kandy, Shiladalda Malima premises this morning and under the patronage of Governor of the Central Province, Lalita Yugamage. The Secretary Adit Premasinghe and Custodian of Shiladalda Malagava, President Pradeep Nilanga Dayala were also present. Pulannau District Independence Day celebrations were held at Pulannau District Secretariat under the patronage of State Minister Siripala Gamalath. A tree planting campaign was organised in collaboration with the 76th Independence Day in the Hambantota District. It was held until 7th of this month. Northern Province Independence Day celebrations were held at the Jaffna District Secretariat this morning. District Secretariat A. Sivadara Singh and officials of the Sri Forces attended the ceremony. Galle District Independence celebrations will be held at the Galle District Secretariat this afternoon under the patronage of Minister Ramesh Patrena. Prison Department said over 700 inmates detained at prisons across the island were released today in view of Independence Day. Accordingly, a total of 74 prisoners, including 25 female inmates, are slated to receive special presidential pardon. The Commissioner General of Excise ordered the closure of all liquor shops in the island today. A total of 600 more suspects have been arrested by the Security Forces personnel with a 24-hour window ending at 12:30 am today as a part of ongoing countrywide anti-drug Operation Nuclear. Among the arrestees are 552 suspects who were taken into custody on narcotics-related charges, of whom one was sent for rehabilitation, while 108 others were on the list of wanted criminal suspects. Additionally, 3 suspects who were on the list of registered suspects of the Police Narcotic Bureau and Police Special Task Force have also been arrested during the special operation. According to the Ministry of Public Security, the narcotics taken into custody during the 24-hour window include 102 kilos of heroin, 134 grams of crystal ice, 4 kilos, 150 grams of cannabis, 775 cannabis plants, and 192,826 narcotic pills. The Sri Lankan Navy conducted a special operation to chase away Indian poaching trawlers from Sri Lankan waters last night. The operation resulted in the seizure of 2 Indian trawlers and apprehension of 23 Indian nationals poaching in northern waters of Sri Lanka off the Delf Island in Jaffna. The Navy conduct regular patrols and operations in Sri Lankan waters to curb illegal fishing practices by foreign fishing trawlers, taking into account the consequences of these practices on the livelihood of local fishermen. In continuation of these efforts, the Northern Naval Command deployed fast attack craft belonging to the Navy and the Sri Lanka Coast Guard to chase away a cluster of Indian poaching trawlers, as the trawlers were detected engaged in illegal fishing in Sri Lankan waters on the 3rd of February. In this operation, naval personnel held 2 Indian poaching trawlers with the Indian fishermen who continued to remain in the island waters of Delft Island. The rest of the Indian fishermen and poaching trawlers were brought to the Kakasanturi harbour, and they will be handed over to the Malad Fisheries Inspector for onward illegal action. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Ministry of Education has notified the second phase of the third school term for 2023 will begin tomorrow. Second phase of the school term will end the 16th of this month. After that, the school term of the year 2024 will begin. The government of Sri Lanka and the World Bank signed an agreement for $120 million in financing for Sri Lanka to strengthen the resilience of the financial sector through the Financial Sector Safety Net Centering project. In parallel, this project agreement between the World Bank and Central Bank of Sri Lanka was also entered in respect of the Protect implementation arrangements. The project development objective is to strengthen Sri Lanka's financial sector safety net with focus on the Sri Lanka Deposit Insurance Scheme, which is managed by the CBSL. The project also aims to strengthen the financial and institutional capacity of the SLBC in line with the national best practices for effective deposit insurance schemes. That was local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
The central bank says the gross official reserves improved to $4.4 billion by the end of 2023. This included a swap facility from the People's Bank of China equivalent to around $1.4 billion, which is subject to conditionally on stability. The central bank, releasing the extra sector performance for December 23, said workers' remittances amounted to $570 million in December 23, in comparison to $537 million in November 2023 and $476 million in December 2022. Exchange rate continued to remain stable during December 23 and recorded an appreciation of 12.1% during 2023. This appreciation trend continued since then, and the Sri Lanka rupee appreciated by 2.1% against the US dollar in January 2024.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
We move on to Watchlight. A survey conducted by the Morato University has revealed to alleviate traffic congestion, Kandy, a strategic solution would involve construction of a new bus terminal. The proposed terminal would consolidate the starting points of various bus journeys originating from places like Goodshed, Bogambara, Clock Tower and the public market. The recommendation emphasized the importance of designing the terminal as a multi-modal transport hub to align with the modern transportation standards. That came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Pakistan ex-PM Imran Khan and wife Bushra Bibi jailed for illegal marriage. Iran says US strikes are a strategic mistake. Namibia's president dies aged 82. A Pakistani court has jailed Imran Khan and his wife for 7 years after avoiding their marriage in the latest sentence against the ex-Prime Minister. The court ruled that Khan's 2018 marriage with Bushra Bibi, a faith healer, was un-Islamic and illegal. He's already in jail for corruption. Last Wednesday, a week before general election, the pair were convicted of profiting from state gifts. Khan 71 said the numerous cases against him are politically motivated. Pakistan's former cricket captain turned politician was ousted as Prime Minister in 2022. A court was set up inside Alila jail in Rawalpindi, where Khan is serving his previous sentences for the latest case. Iran has called US airstrikes on Iraq and Syria a strategic mistake after 85 guard targets were hit across the region on Friday. The US has launched retaliatory strikes in response to last week's drone attack on a US military base that killed 3 American soldiers. The White House blamed the drone attack on an Iran-backed militia group. The US and UK also launched a new round of joint strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen on Saturday. Namibia's President Hage Geingob has died while receiving medical treatment at a hospital in the capital. When the Namibian Vice President announced that Mr. Geingob had died in the early hours of today. 80-year-old leader had been diagnosed with cancer and revealed his diagnosis to the public last month. His office announced he would be traveling to the US for treatment, but would return to Namibia on 2nd of February, which Geingob became the president in 2015 and was serving his second and final term in office. Back to the headlines of the world news. Pakistan ex-PM Imran Khan and wife Busha Bibi jailed for illegal marriage. Iran says US strikes are a strategic mistake. Namibia's president dies at the age of 82. That was world news. We move on to development news. Inauguration of the Urumaya program presented over by the President Ranil Wickremesinghe, which takes place at the Rangiri Dambulla International Stadium tomorrow. Title deeds with freehold land rights will be given over to 3 million people who are currently using lands based on the rights of licenses and ownership deeds. That was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
Today, the third day of the only test being played in this series between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan. The match is being played at SLBC grounds in Colombo. At the end of the first session of the third day, Sri Lanka scored 439 runs all out for the 198 runs scored of Afghans. Anjali Matthews scored 141 runs, Dinesh Chandimal scored 107 runs. Dimut Karunaratne scored 77 runs. Playing for their second innings, Afghanistan scored 36 runs without loss a short while ago. That was sports news.
Go ekakthiyana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyamata set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekat niyamata set wenna friendship ekak menna.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cathay Pacific Airways, after a lapse of 4 years, relaunched direct flights from Hong Kong to Colombo on the 1st of February using an Airbus 330-300 aircraft. Cathay Pacific has been catering to Sri Lankan market for over 30 years. The airline temporarily stopped flight operations in March 2020 due to the global pandemic. However, airline operated the Boeing 747 freighter carrying vital supplies including COVID vaccines during the pandemic. Inaugural flight carried 253 passengers and they were welcomed by the cultural dancing performance organized by Sri Lanka Tourism at the BIA. Cathay operations will be on 3 days per week.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekakthiyana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyamata set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekat niyamata set wenna friendship ekak menna.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news, in a significant development, President Ranil Wickremesinghe addressed the Thailand-Sri Lanka Business Forum in Colombo yesterday, highlighting the auspicious timing of the event. The President announced the signing of a groundbreaking free trade agreement between Sri Lanka and Thailand, making second FTA with an ASEAN country. President Wickremesinghe emphasized the historic trade relationship between the new nations, which predates even the Sokotia Kingdom. He urged a revival of this connection considering the strategic positions Sri Lanka in the Indian Ocean and Thailand in the Asia Pacific. The President also acknowledged the cultural ties, including shared traditions like the Ramayana and Theravada Buddhism. And we'll move on to the weather report.
Weather report.
Showers will occur at times in the eastern and lower provinces and in the Purannaru and Matale districts. So spells of showers may occur in the Anuradhapura and Hamad districts. Short thunderstorms showers will occur in several places in the western, Sabaragamu and northwestern provinces, and in Kandy, Nora Elia, Gaul and Matara districts after 2 p.m. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the central and Sabaragamu provinces and in Gaul and Matara district during the morning. That was weather report. And back to the headlines of the news. Sri Lanka celebrates its 76th Independence Day. The Prime Minister of Thailand participated in the National Independence Day celebrations as a guest of honour. District-wide celebrations were held island-wide to mark 76th Independence Day. Over 700 inmates detained at prisons across the island released today in view on Independence Day. 600 more suspects arrested under the Operation Euthia. Navy seizes 2 poaching vessels in Sri Lankan waters. $150 million financial facility to Sri Lanka from the World Bank. And in world news, Pakistan ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan and wife Bushra Bibi jailed for illegal marriage. In sports news, Sri Lanka scored 439 runs all out for the first innings against Afghanistan. With that, we end the afternoon news broadcast in Radio Sri Lanka. 1:31 is your time, and until 2 p.m, let's enjoy music with lunch.